Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Karen. So recently I completed 1 month on OMAD, which is 1 meal a day, and in this video I'm sharing the changes I noticed in myself from being on OMAD, why this OMAD protocol is worth exploring, and 13 benefits that you can expect from being on OMAD. So in the past few months I made quite a few changes to my diet. I first started with eliminating sugar, next I eliminated grains, and just with these two changes alone I noticed a day and night difference. And yet I felt something was missing. Now around this time I came across Dr. Jason Fung's YouTube channel. Now if you know Dr. Jason Fung, he is a world-renowned expert on fasting. He has written multiple New York Times bestsellers. And on his channel, he has many videos talking about fasting, the benefits of fasting. He also shared testimonials from his clients. And as I was watching Dr. Fung's videos, a light bulb went on in my head. And I intuitively felt as if I had found the missing link in my research, so that now my holy trinity of nutrition looks something like this. Now, part of the reason why fasting is so potent is because in the absence of food, your insulin doesn't spike. And when there is no insulin in the body, your body can finally release energy from stored fat. Now, if you are someone who likes to eat 3 times a day, then the amount of insulin released looks something like this. And in contrast, if you eat only once a day, the amount of insulin released looks something like this. And as you can see, just by this one shift alone, you have a complete control over how much insulin gets produced in your body. So the fasting protocol that I followed on OMAD was 24, as in 20 hours of fasting and a 4-hour of eating window. Now during the 20 hours of fasting, whenever I felt hungry, I would either drink tea with coconut oil or MCT oil, or I would squeeze lemon in water and add salt and stevia to it. Another trick I used to tide over those hunger pangs was to use pink salt crystals. So you just take few salt crystals and you put them under your tongue and then drink some water on it. This will easily tide your hunger pangs. Now during the 4-hour eating window, I primarily ate fats, proteins and vegetables. And I know a lot of people say, well, you can eat whatever you want, and that's true. But I always feel that, when you eat clean, it's kind of like getting the maximum bang for your buck. You reap the maximum rewards. Now the first few days on fasting, and I still remember to this date, I felt as if I had hit the jackpot, because right off the bat, my energy was through the roof. My mental clarity, mental focus was through the roof. As in, I could focus for long hours without getting distracted, and this was something I hadn't experienced in a while. Like, it almost felt like overnight my brain had developed laser focus. The other shift I noticed on OMAD was that it does simplify life. Because prior to this experiment, I didn't realize how much time is spent around thinking about food, making food, and then actually eating it. And when you remove that part of the equation, it really frees up time and it simplifies your life, and it allows you to do many other things. So during the 1 month of OMAD, I had so much energy that going for daily exercise, daily run, almost became second nature. Another shift I noticed on OMAD early on was that food tastes so much better, because when you're fasting for 20 hours, your taste buds become highly sensitive, and then anything you eat after that, it's almost like a burst of flavors in your mouth, and it makes you appreciate food so much more. The other surprising thing on OMAD I noticed was that I actually looked forward to cooking. Now, if you know me, I am someone who always thinks of cooking as a chore. It is something I do not look forward to. But during that 1 month, I really understood that food is equal to fuel for the cells of our body. And what I put inside my body matters. So it made me mindful of what I was eating and also how I was preparing my food. And on that note, during the 30 days of OMAD, I was eating super clean and super healthy, because when you are eating within a 4-hour window, you want to make sure you are getting your body all the nutrients that it needs. Otherwise, you will notice that OMAD cannot be sustained. And because of this realization, my junk food intake almost went down by 95%. Now, during 1 month of OMAD, I upped my fat intake because fats provide energy for a long period of time. Now, if I gave 1 cup of sugar to one person and 1 cup of butter to another person, what you will find is that the person who eats butter is not going to feel hungry for the next 15 to even 18 hours. And that is because if you look at this graph, your fats are going to give you energy for a sustained period of time. In contrast, if you use sugar as your fuel, you get a sharp burst of energy, your insulin spikes, and in a few hours, your insulin drops and you're hungry again. Now, during 1 month of OMAD, it is much easier for people to lose weight because relatively you are eating much less calories than you are expending. Now, autophagy is a very real thing on OMAD. I remember 10 days into my fasting, and I happened to look into the mirror and I saw that my skin was beaming, it was glowing, and I hadn't put anything on my skin. And that's when I understood and realized that when we are fasting, it gives opportunity to our body to get rid of old cells, to get rid of cellular debris, and all these things are not possible when we are eating 3 times a day. Now, in the description below, I've put the research paper of the scientist who got Nobel Peace Prize for his research on autophagy. So do check it out. Now, part of my reason why I wanted to do OMAD was because I wanted to see if it would make any difference to my meditation practice, and absolutely it did. Now it's become a lot more easier to focus and also go into that deeper states of meditation relatively easier. Now, the other thing I noticed on OMAD was that my sugar cravings practically disappeared, and I feel it's primarily because I was eating such nutrient-dense food. And on that note, I didn't take as many nutritional supplements during the 1 month of OMAD, primarily because I was getting all the supplements from my food. And during these 30 days, it really made me understand how much food impacts our overall mood, our overall energy, and even focus. Like intellectually, we all understand that food impacts us at a mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual level. And for me, these 30 days really gave me a tangible experience of that. Perhaps the best thing about OMAD is that it really puts you in touch with your hunger. Like a lot of times we eat because it's time, or we are bored, or we are in emotional distress. And so for me, OMAD really improved my relationship with hunger, where I was only eating because I was genuinely hungry. And finally, OMAD will also improve your willpower, because 10 days into OMAD and I realized that it's really also a psychological game. Now, if you would like to explore more about OMAD, then 2 books that I will highly recommend is, number 1 is this, which is The Complete Guide to Fasting. This is by Dr. Jason Fung. And the other book is Any Way You Can by Dr. Boz. Now, in this book, Dr. Boz shares the story of how her mother healed from cancer with keto diet and prolonged fasting. And quite honestly, if it wasn't for this book, I might have hesitated from staying on this 30-day OMAD challenge. And again, in the description below, I'll put a link to these books and also some excellent YouTube videos on this topic so you can explore them. Now, if OMAD sounds a bit extreme, that's understandable. But if this is something that you want to explore, then my suggestion is start with 16-8 protocol for maybe 1 to 2 months, wherein you eat within an 8-hour window and you fast for 16 hours. Once you feel comfortable with 16-8 protocol, slowly you can move to 18-6 protocol and then eventually 24 protocol. And if you have already done OMAD, let me know in the comments below how it went for you, what benefits, what changes you noticed in yourself. I hope the suggestions in this video were helpful. As always, please only take what resonates, discard the rest. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you in the next video.